It's 10 p.m. The house is quiet. The day is done. The world has slowed down, but something inside you hasn't. There's a restlessness, a strange emptiness that settles in right around this time night after night. You've lived a good life. You've worked hard, taken care of your responsibilities, raised a family. You've earned respect. You've been the steady hand, the reliable one. But lately, when the world goes still, there's this feeling you can't quite explain. It's not just loneliness. It's not just boredom. It's deeper. It's the absence of something that used to be there, a closeness, a spark, a hunger for connection. The kind of intimacy that used to come naturally. Now it feels distant, out of reach. And you wonder if anyone else knows what this feels like. Maybe you glance at your partner and remember how things used to be. Or maybe you sleep alone and try to convince yourself you're fine with it. But in the silence, a question creeps in. Is this it? Is this all I have left? You don't talk about it, not to your doctor, not to your friends. Because men don't say these things out loud, especially not at this age. And so, you keep it to yourself. But it doesn't go away. The nights still feel hollow. And that ache, that quiet ache for intimacy, for passion, for purpose, still lingers. Here's what I want you to know. You're not alone. Not even close. Thousands of men over 70 feel this same silent drift. It's one of the most common things I hear from my patients. This feeling that the body has slowed down, that desire has faded, and that intimacy has simply vanished. But I'll tell you right now, this isn't just aging, and it isn't permanent. What you're feeling is real, but it's also reversible. I'm Dr. James Whitaker, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why this happens, what's going on inside your body and brain, and how, yes, even at your age, you can reignite that spark and feel like yourself again. Because this chapter of your life, it can still be full of warmth, energy, and deep, meaningful connection. Let's talk about how. The hidden crisis. Let me be blunt about something most doctors won't say out loud. What you're going through isn't just about aging. It's part of a hidden crisis, one that millions of men over 70 are silently facing, and almost no one talks about. On the outside, everything might seem fine. You're retired, hopefully healthy, maybe even still active. But inside, there's a growing sense of disconnection from your partner, from your own body, and even from who you used to be. I've had men look me in the eye and say, "Doc, I just don't feel like a man anymore." And it's not because they aren't strong, or wise, or valuable. It's because somewhere along the way, the things that made them feel alive desire, intimacy, connection faded into the background. Sometimes slowly, sometimes all at once. And when that happens, it doesn't just affect the bedroom. It affects everything. Here's the truth. Your brain and your body were designed for intimacy, for closeness, for touch. But as you age, your natural hormone levels shift. Testosterone drops. Blood flow decreases. Dopamine, the brain chemical that fuels desire and motivation, slows down. And when that happens, so does your drive. Add in years of stress, medications, maybe a little weight gain, and suddenly, you're a shadow of the man you remember being. The worst part? No one prepares you for this. No one tells you that you might feel emotionally empty at night, or that the loss of intimacy could affect your confidence, your energy, even your will to engage with life. That's why I call it a hidden crisis, because it creeps in quietly. You keep showing up. You keep doing what you're supposed to do. But deep down, something essential is missing. But here's what I want you to hear most of all. This isn't your fault. And more importantly, it doesn't have to stay this way. There are real, natural, and science-backed ways to turn this around. You can restore your desire. You can reconnect with your partner. You can feel like yourself again. In just a moment, I'll show you exactly how. But first, Let's talk about why this happens and how to take the first step toward reclaiming your intimacy. Let's strip away the confusion and get to the heart of what's really happening in your body and brain. Because once you understand the science, you can start reclaiming control. First, let's talk hormones. After age 30, your testosterone levels begin to decline. Slowly at first, then more noticeably. By the time you reach your 60s and 70s, your body is producing far less of the hormone that fuels your desire, your energy, your confidence, even your mood. This isn't just about sex. It's about your identity as a man. Next, dopamine. Think of it as your brain's drive chemical. It gives you the feeling of wanting, of anticipation, of pleasure. But as we age, especially if we faced stress, loneliness, or health challenges, dopamine receptors become less responsive. That means even when something should feel exciting, it doesn't. You may feel flat, disinterested, numb, and it doesn't stop there. Reduced blood flow is another major culprit. The arteries that carry oxygen-rich blood to your brain, your heart, and yes, your intimate areas begin to stiffen and narrow with age. This makes it harder to achieve and maintain physical intimacy, and harder still to feel those deep, fulfilling sensations you once took for granted. And then there's the emotional side. If you've experienced loss of a partner, of physical strength, of purpose, it compounds the problem. Emotional distance leads to physical distance. And physical issues can feed emotional ones. It's a loop. A quiet cycle of disconnection that no one teaches you how to break. So if you've been feeling less like yourself lately, if you've noticed a drop in intimacy, motivation, or even self-worth, I want you to know this. You are not broken. You are experiencing a biological and emotional imbalance that is both common and completely treatable. I've helped men in their 70s, 80s, even 90s turn this around. And not with risky drugs or false promises, but with simple, natural steps that restore what time has taken away. And in just a moment, I'll walk you through those steps. But first, I want to give you the clearest, most powerful action you can take today to start reversing these effects and bring real intimacy back into your life. Now that you know what's really happening, not just on the surface, but deep inside your body and brain, I want to say something clearly. It's not too late. I don't care if you're 72, 78, or 85. If you can still feel the ache of emptiness, then you still have the ability to feel the opposite of that: connection, desire, intimacy, vitality. But here's the key. You have to take the first step. Because the sad truth is, most men never do. They suffer in silence. They assume it's just part of getting old. And eventually, they settle into a life that's smaller, quieter, more numb. But that doesn't have to be your story. In my clinic, I use a simple 3-step protocol that's helped hundreds of men just like you restore their intimacy, energy, and confidence. And no, it's not based on prescriptions, pumps, or some gimmick that only masks symptoms. This is about getting to the root, rebalancing the brain chemicals that fuel your desire, restoring healthy blood flow to your most vital areas, and reigniting the connection between body, mind, and partner. And it works. Because it's natural, it's sustainable, and most importantly, it's designed specifically for men over 70. So here's my challenge to you. Don't wait. Don't push this off another night. Because the longer you ignore it, the deeper that sense of emptiness can settle in. If you're ready to reclaim your drive, if you're ready to wake up with energy and go to bed feeling connected, not alone, I want you to take action right now. Click the button below. I've put together a free breakdown of the exact steps I use with my private patients, including a natural formula I recommend that's been shown to support blood flow, dopamine sensitivity, and hormonal balance in men over 70. This is your moment, and it could be the first real turning point you've had in years. You don't have to accept the silence. You don't have to live without touch, without closeness, without joy. You just have to take the first step. I'll walk you the rest of the way. Let me tell you about Robert. He came to see me a little over a year ago. He was 74, widowed, a former engineer's sharp mind, steady hands. But behind that quiet strength, he looked tired, hollow, like someone who hadn't felt much of anything in a long time. He told me, "Doc, I don't want to just live out my days. I want to feel like a man again, not just alive, but awake." He missed touch. He missed desire. But most of all, he missed connection. He thought maybe it was too late, that something in him had simply turned off. But I told him what I'm telling you now. That spark isn't gone, it's just buried. And together, we can bring it back. We started simple. First, we supported his body, helping restore blood flow, easing inflammation, and encouraging natural testosterone activity. Then, we supported his brain with key nutrients that help reactivate dopamine sensitivity and rekindle that sense of drive. Not in a fake, overhyped way, but in a real, biological way that made him feel alive again. Within a few weeks, Robert called me, and I'll never forget what he said. "Doc, I woke up this morning, and I felt something I hadn't felt in years, not desire. I looked in the mirror, and for the first time in a long time, I actually liked the man I saw." Soon after, he reconnected with an old friend from church. They started spending more time together, simple things like walks, dinners, music, and slowly intimacy returned. Not rushed, not forced, just natural, warm, human. Robert's story isn't rare. It's just that most men don't get the chance to experience it because they don't take that first step. But when they do, everything changes. The spark comes back. The nights don't feel so empty. You start to carry yourself differently, speak with more confidence, smile more. And you remember, this is who I am. This is what I was made for. If Robert can find that again at 74, why not you? In the next part, I'll show you exactly what to do, step by step, to begin your own transformation starting tonight. By now, you've probably realized something important. You're not broken. You've just been missing the right plan. What you need isn't guesswork. You need a clear, science-backed roadmap, one designed specifically for men in their 70s and beyond. That's what I'm going to give you right now. A simple, powerful rebuild plan that works with your body, not against it. One that doesn't rely on drugs or awkward devices, or anything that leaves you feeling less like a man. Here's the 3-phase strategy I use with my private patients. Step 1. Reignite blood flow. At this stage of life, blood flow is everything. Without it, nothing else works physically or emotionally. We start by improving vascular flexibility and circulation. I recommend key nutrients like L-citrulline, pine bark extract, and magnesium, all shown to help open up blood vessels, increase nitric oxide, and support healthy function below the belt. This isn't about short-term tricks. It's about giving your body the tools it needs to perform naturally, with confidence. Step 2. Reset brain chemistry. Next, we target your dopamine system, your desire engine. As you age, dopamine signaling weakens. That's why even things you used to love can feel flat. To reset this, we focus on natural compounds like mucuna-pruriens, vitamin B6, and L-tyrosine, all clinically shown to support dopamine production and receptor sensitivity. When this starts working again, you don't just want intimacy, you crave it. And that's a good thing. Step 3. Restore hormonal balance. Finally, we help your testosterone work smarter, not harder. You don't need to flood your body with synthetic hormones. You need to support the natural production and reduce what's called estrogen dominance. Nutrients like zinc, boron, and ashwagandha can gently tip the scale back in your favor. Men who follow this plan often report better sleep, deeper energy, more confidence, and yes, a powerful return of physical connection. This isn't complicated, but it works. And I've made it even easier. I've combined all of these clinically supported ingredients into one simple formula. A daily capsule designed just for men over 70 who want to feel alive again. In just a moment, I'll show you exactly how to get it and why it's changing lives every single day. So let me ask you something, man to man. What kind of nights do you want to have from now on? Do you want to keep sitting in silence, wondering if those days are behind you? If intimacy, connection, desire are gone forever? Or do you want to feel again, to connect again, to be touched not just physically, but emotionally and deeply, in a way that reminds you you're still alive, still needed, still very much a man? Because you have two options right now. You can close this message, tell yourself maybe later, and continue down the same path of quiet frustration. Or you can do what the strongest men I've worked with have done, take action. Not for ego, not for vanity, but because you deserve to feel whole, because you deserve nights that end with warmth and closeness, not emptiness, because you've spent your whole life showing up for others. And now it's time to show up for yourself. Inside, you're getting the exact combination of nutrients I use in my clinic to support healthy blood flow, to reignite dopamine and drive, and to rebalance the hormones that power male vitality. One capsule a day. That's it. No drugs. No awkward conversations. Just results. And right now, you can try it completely risk-free. If it doesn't make you feel more like yourself, more alive, more connected, just send it back. No questions asked. But I believe once you feel the change, you won't want to go back. Because life after 70 isn't the end of your intimacy story. It can be the start of the most meaningful chapter yet. So if you're ready, click the button below. Take the first step. Reclaim the fire. You're not done yet, my friend. Not even close.